Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel Teaching Vlogs, and in today's video we are going to talk about the Unit 1, that is Growth and Development of Semester 1. Let me give you the list of the topics. What is development? What is growth? Principles of development? And what is the difference between growth and development? We will read about all these topics in great detail in this video. So let's get started. What exactly is the meaning of growth? Growth is a physical process. It is quantifiable. It is influenced by genetics, measured through physical change, and consistent growing and an increase in value is referred as growth. Example, height and weight. Let me tell you about each point in detail. Growth is a physical process. By the word physical process, we mean that the growth can be seen or observed by the other people. It is quantifiable. Why it is quantifiable? Because we can quantify the growth in terms of height and weight. It is influenced by genetics. Now, how the growth is influenced by genetics? Genetics indeed play a very important role in the growth of a human being. We have always seen that the parents who have a good height or are tall usually have tall kids. Similarly, the growth is measured through the physical change. The physical changes such as height and weight are measured to quantify or to assess the growth of a child. It also refers to the consistent growing and an increase in the value. So these are all the characteristics of growth. If all these characteristics are present, then we can say that the growth has taken place. Let us now talk about the development. Development refers to the process of gradual transformation. Second, it refers to the acquisition of skills. It is also a comprehensive evaluation followed by qualitative changes which continues. It's a continuous process throughout the life of an individual. It also refers to the physical, emotional and intellectual changes which occur in an individual's life. This term is wider and comprehensive in comparison to growth. It is also possible without growth. So these are the characteristics of development. It is basically a process of gradual transformation. Now what do we mean by the word gradual transformation? It means that a person develops not only in terms of physical changes but also in terms of emotional and intellectual changes. How? With the help of acquisition of skills. As the time progresses, a person or a child learns new skills, and on the basis of his performance, we try to quantify the development of the child. Which means that even if the height of the child stops after a certain age or after a certain point of time, but his development never stops. It's a never-ending process and it goes on throughout the life of an individual. Let us now talk about the principles of development. There are 12 principles in total which we are going to study. The first principle is that development is continuous. The second says development is gradual. Third, development is sequential. And the fourth, rate of development varies from person to person. Let me tell you about these principles in brief. Development is a continuous process. Obviously, how can the development of a person stop? It is a continuous process because as the time progresses, a person keeps on learning new things and keeps on experiencing new things. With the experience that he gains in his life, his emotional and intellectual development takes place. That is, the development is continuous. Development is gradual. What do we mean by this term gradual? It means development keeps on taking place in a life of a person. It doesn't stop. It is not a spontaneous process. It is a gradual process. It takes time Therefore, we call development as a gradual process. Development is sequential. Why development is sequential? Because it can never happen that once you become intelligent or once you become more emotionally balanced, then you will come back to the earlier stages where you were not that intelligent or maybe you were not that emotionally balanced. That is why development is sequential process. Now, rate of development varies from one person to another. Every person has his own experiences of life, has his own exposure towards life. Therefore, the rate of development, maybe some person or maybe a child has more opportunities of interacting with the people and participating in the activities or maybe learning new skills. But on the other hand, the other child may not get so many opportunities at the same time. That is why the rate of development can vary from one person to another. Principle number 5 says development proceeds from general to specific. 6. Most traits are correlated in development. 7. Growth and development is a product of both heredity and environment. 8. Development is predictable. Now, what do we understand by these principles? Number 5. Development proceeds from general to specific. In the beginning, the child have different experiences of life, and it takes time for him or her to understand these experiences to develop a character which is very specific in nature. So this means that development proceeds from general to specific. Talking about most traits which are correlated in development. Now, in development, when we talk about development, we are not only talking about the physical development, but we are also talking about the emotional and the intellectual development. So all these traits are interrelated. The child who is very intelligent, he might be very good in maintaining the social relations also. So this is how these traits are interrelated. Growth and development is a product of both heredity and environment. Now, this is a debatable topic. There are two groups of people. One group says that the growth and development are influenced more by the heredity, whereas on the other hand, the second group says that growth and development are more influenced by the environment. In my view, heredity and environment play equal roles in the growth and development of a child. Development is predictable. Yes, development is predictable. On the basis of the present growth on the basis of the present performance of the child, we can predict his development in the near future. And this can be done with the help of the psychological test, which includes IQ test. Principle number 9. Development changes. Principle 10. There is a constant interaction between all factors of development. Principle 11. Cephalo-caudal, and Principle 12, Proximal-distal. Talking about Principle number 9, development changes. Of course, the development, when it occurs in an individual's life, it changes the personality and character of an individual. Yes, development brings visible changes both in physical as well as in emotional terms. Talking about Principle number 10, there is a constant interaction between all factors of development. All the factors of development, whether it is quantitative in nature or qualitative in nature, there is a constant interaction between all these factors. A child who is very good, who has a very high EQ, might also have a very high IQ. This means that the high emotional quotient of a child can be correlated with the high intelligent quotient of that child. Principle number 11 refers to the cephalo-caudal. Now there are two terms, cephalo-caudal and principle number 12, proximal-distal. These two terms basically talks about the direction of growth and development. When we are talking about the cephalo-caudal development, it is a type of development which takes place from head to foot, whereas in proximal-distal, the development takes place from the center to the outer parts of the body. These two principles basically talks about the direction of development. So this can be the question in your CTET paper also, and this is a very important question which comes in your semester exams or maybe in internal assessment exams, that what is the difference between cephalo-caudal development and proximal-distal. So now I hope this difference is clear to you. Let us now look at the difference between these two terms. Growth, as you can see, is a measurable thing. It is quantitative in nature. With the help of a ruler, the height of this plant can be measured. That is, the growth of the plant can be measured. This is the growth. When we talk about development, it is the quantitative as well as the qualitative aspect of a person's life. It refers to both the physical, emotional as well as the intellectual development of a child. Let us have a look at the difference between growth and development in point form. So growth focuses on the quantitative improvement, whereas the development refers to the qualitative and the quantitative improvement. Growth ends at maturation, whereas development continues throughout the life. Growth is dependent on cellular changes. Development, on the other hand, refers to organizational transformation. Growth is progressive physical change and it happens from one stage to another. Development is a gradual transformation of behavioral and skill set changes which takes place in a child's life. Growth refers to the external, that is, the changes in physical appearance, whereas development is an internal process which lays emphasis in the character changes of an individual. Growth has a very limited scope of time, whereas development is not confined by the time or age. Growth focuses on one aspect of a child's life, that is the quantitative aspect, whereas development is an all-inclusive process which is designed to focus on all the aspects of a child's life.
I hope you liked the video and the concept of growth and development is clear to you. If you have any question, then write in the comment section. Also, the link of the study material has been provided in the video's description box. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to get the latest notification about the upcoming video in which I will discuss about the stages of growth and development. Do like, share and subscribe to your very own YouTube channel Teaching Blog. Signing off for now. Stay safe, stay healthy and never stop learning.